And it is live. Fantastic. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the, I should know which number we're on with. Is this the fourth one? Fifth? I don't know. September's live stream for Film Prompt Society. So this is going to be, first half as usual, we're going to talk about the films from last month, plus a bonus one from Jamie from a couple of prompts ago. And then we'll talk about the new prompt and throw around some ideas and stuff and hopefully come up with some interesting ideas. So in the description of this video, you will find the playlist to last month's videos and a link to Jamie's video. So if you haven't seen any of those, I would recommend go watching them now, and we will generally talk about some stuff for a minute or two, and then we'll start discussing the films, if that sounds good with everyone.
Mm-hmm. That's good with me. I just retweeted the link to say that we're live, told people in Slack that we're live, and told people in Discord that we're live. So.
Oh, you were on top of it.
I just retweeted.
I don't know how many people, if any, will be coming in via those routes, but
well, I see we have Callum in the chat. Thank you for coming over from my stream. So we've got at least one person right at the start, so I think that's probably a record. So so last month's prompt was an unusual pet, and it also came with the caveat of the challenge of making a animated storyboard / animatic, depending on your preferred term. So I went down that route, and the other video, which was by Henry, who unfortunately can't be here because of his internet issues, he did not take that challenge, but followed the prompt. So we've got two very different videos. Both kind of use an animation element, I suppose. So
yes, that's true. I think he partially made the sprites for himself for his video. They were modified, and he created part of them from scratch. And also, although he can't make it onto the stream, if you guys have any questions, I can just type those up in Discord and we can get answers from him that way.
Ah, awesome. We have a hotline. Cool. So do we want to talk about Henry's first? Because I think is the first on the playlist.
Yeah.
Because he got in there before me.
I was curious as to how much of it was actually it's not an algorithm, is it? Would you call it an algorithm that was generated by
simulation?
Simulation, that's the word. Yeah. And how much of it was animation?
So I didn't. Jamie, you downloaded the game, didn't you?
I did download an early draft. Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't actually get around to it. I meant to, but I didn't get around to having a little play with it. Because he put a link in the video's description to a place where you could download the bit of software that he'd built, so you can play the little dog game for yourself. So I would assume all of that element of it is just he recorded one or two, I don't know how many run-throughs he did, but some run-throughs. I assume it probably took him a little while to get to 80 dogs. So it looks like it was quite difficult. So I think that's the thing I quite like with Henry's stuff, because he always incorporates some kind of programming element. It's always a bit different to anything else that you see.
Yeah, I really like that about the combination of those two elements. I think it's really clever and different as well. It's quite unique.
Yeah.
And he's got an excellent sense of humor as well.
Yeah.
Always laughs in his videos. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think any of it was animated. I do like that about his videos, that it's all coded from scratch and it's actually playable. I'm more the sort of person to animate manually than code. So I normally take the shortcut, but I don't think Henry takes any shortcuts for his videos.
So the bits in between, were they also kind of part of the game, where the graphics kind of came in the text? The
text will have been animated on top, yeah, just for the video. I was just thinking back to it then. I did watch it again earlier today. Yeah, I think he adds in little cutscenes, but that's purely for the purposes of the video, demonstrative.
I thought the narration was really good as well. It was had an energy to it that really worked.
Yeah, I like that about all of Henry's videos. He definitely has a good sense of humor.
Yeah.
Also, he doesn't seem to be online at the moment. I hope his internet isn't playing up so much that he can't load Discord. I could locate my phone and give him a text if we have any pressing questions.
Cursed internet problems.
Yeah, it's difficult to talk about it when Henry's not here to bounce off questions and ideas.
Yeah, it's always easier when the creator is there.
But I really liked the aesthetic of the video as well. It was very cutesy, slightly retro. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, the sort of pixel art sort of vibe.
I mean, you already know that I love that kind of thing.
It makes me want to try to, like, because I haven't done much coding recently, but it kind of makes me want to have a go at doing something sort of inspired by his style, just because it is weird and interesting.
That would be awesome.
I've never made a fully functioning game, but like I've made some apps that I've done for uni, which I did use a tutorial of how to make like a side-scrolling game to like get some elements of the code from that. So might be interesting to try something, but I'm not quite sure how I do it, because like, yeah, I think he just thinks in a very different way, and I'm not sure I could incorporate that without it just seeming like copying, you know?
I mean, we could always.
So it's quite. I think it's the thing, because it's quite different.
Yeah,
it's difficult to sort of pay homage without just
I think whatever you did, it would come out as your own style.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't even know where to start doing anything like that.
It would be a really interesting prompt, though, actually, to make a game for a video, whether a coded game or a board game, or I don't even know, a drinking game. Make a vlog out of it.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah,
board game. I don't think I could code a game, although I guess that would be the challenge, wouldn't it?
I've only made 2 games before, and those were only text-based games, but that's the sort of thing that almost anyone can do, and there is software that can help with that. Twine is a good one. I don't know if either of you have ever played any Twine games.
No, I haven't.
Those are great. It's sort of interactive, text-based. You click through to links, and those take you to different areas in the story. And yeah, there are a lot of really cool ones out there. It's a fun program to play with.
Oh, cool.
I'll add a note in the comments. Oh, here we go. Callum is asking if we've seen Theory of Everything. I actually haven't yet.
No, it's one of those ones I'm kind of meant to see. And I feel like as a physics graduate, I kind of feel like I probably should have. So
it was good. It's really good. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, it is again one of those ones I've been meaning to watch, but there's such a long list. Slowly getting through it. Has anybody watched any good films recently?
I watched Molly's Game recently, which was quite. Have you heard about it? I don't know if I can.
It's ringing a vague bell.
It's based on a true story of the woman that got involved in running the poker nights for celebrities, and then got caught up in the FBI and the Russian mob. And they made it really thrilling, and it's written and directed by, I don't know if it's written, it's definitely directed by Aaron Sorkin. So it kind of has that West Wing pace to it, and it's really good. Really enjoyed it.
Oh, cool. Maybe check that out.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it.
I haven't, like, at the moment, I've mainly been watching, like the kind of popcorn movies, because I just need to, not really have to think. So I've been rewatching a lot of Marvel stuff recently.
I went to see both Winnie the Pooh films, Christopher Robin and the Disney one, and I found them both very, very sad.
Yeah,
it didn't have that Winnie the Pooh vibe. It was like really sad, but they're good. It's not what I would have expected, really. Last Night is a brilliant film. I've never heard of that one.
I haven't heard of that one
no,
either.
me neither.
But thank you for joining us, Matty.
Yes, welcome, Matty. I think you're our most recent subscriber as well, so hello.
Cool. I wonder, did you come through from my live stream? I hope so. That's one for me. No, I haven't heard of that. I'll have to watch this back and check out everything that everyone's recommended. Yeah. I have been almost exclusively binge watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia in time for the new season. So that's pretty much all I've been watching recently and thoroughly enjoying. And I've written a couple of comedy scripts just because I'm so inspired by all of their zany antics. So,
that's cool.
Very enjoyable show.
I don't think I've ever seen that, so I'll have to.
Yeah, I somehow had managed not to see it until this year, despite it being one of the longest running sitcoms ever. It's been renewed for its 14th season, I think.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it's good. It starts out very, this was made in 2005 and was offensive even in 2005 and more so now. So I started watching it. Within the first few episodes, I was like, why do all of my woke friends like this so much? Oh my God, this is awful. Slowly realizing that it's a show about terrible people. So that partway covers it.
Is it like a high-end sitcom in that, or is it like, does it take place in one room, kind of like Friends, or is it more of a...
It takes place in a pub, which the main characters own, and mainly in a pub, but there are some fun excursions and road trip episodes. And Matty says that he's refusing to watch Always Sunny because once he starts, he'll never stop. That is true, but that is not a bad thing. It is a great thing to binge. It's very funny. And he says that
Matty's also said Community is brilliant, and I would agree, except after a couple of seasons when it started to kind of, after some of the cast left, it kind of it's not as good. But the first couple of seasons are fantastic.
I still need to watch it. It's next on my list for comedy shows. I think I only watched Always Sunny over that because I kept using that meme of Charlie Day with the conspiracy wall behind him, the Pepe Silvio with the crazy eyes. So I had to do that for the sake of that meme. But yeah, Community. Lots of people at Sitsi talking about Community as well, recommending that.
It's not a film that I've seen yet, but I am very much looking forward to going to see. So there's an event happening in Cardiff around Halloween where they're screening some sort of horror movies of kind of around that like genre of sort of more scary kind of stuff in one of the rooms underneath Cardiff Castle.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to go see Pan's Labyrinth, which I've never actually seen, and get to watch it in a spooky room. So I'm very much looking forward to that.
That'll be good. It's a good film.
So it was either that or A Quiet Place.
Oh.
But
I haven't seen that.
But I'm going with a few friends, and Pan's Labyrinth was the most popular choice. So that's what we're doing. But I'm looking forward to that.
That'll be really cool in that kind of atmosphere as well.
A Quiet Place is very good though. I definitely recommend watching that.
I do want to see it.
I partly watched it for research since I was making a short called A Less Quiet Place. So I was like, I really have to watch the original before I do this. And yeah, it was fantastic.
On a scary level, what level would you give it? What number out of 10?
I would maybe give it an 8. I don't know. I used to watch a lot of scary movies, and I've seen seen quite a few Saw films and Final Destination films, and those are scary in their own way. But this was very atmospheric, very tense.
Yeah, I don't feel like you can put gory kind of horror in the same category really as like psychological horror. Like there's such different things. Like I can't handle really heavy gore. Like Saw's a bit much for me.
Yeah.
But like I can handle a lot more gore than I can psychological usually, because I'm one of those people who thinks about it for the next month and can't sleep.
Yeah.
I can't handle either, so I would end up watching another room.
Yeah, it's a very tense film, but it's a great idea. It's such a great concept.
But then, like, I don't normally think of liking like the sort of more psychological horror ones, but I recently saw It Follows. Which I don't know if you know, and like that is it's scary, but it's also not. It's really like just more unnerving, I guess.
Okay. So. I will make a note of that. I'm just going to.
It's currently on Netflix. I think we watched it on Netflix a couple of months ago.
What was the title again?
It Follows.
It's
like the concept is that there is this monster that if it's coming after you, it will just slowly follow you wherever you go. Like you can drive somewhere and it'll just slowly walk and eventually catch up to you. And if it catches you, it kills you. And it's passed on to people by having sex with someone. So, but it's really good.
I'm laughing because I haven't seen it, but somebody told me the story, and then I got scared when I was out for a run by myself, just thinking about it. So that's quite an effective film.
See it then.
It's quite an effective film that someone just told me the plot and it frightened me. So.
Mattie's asking, what is a 10 out of 10 horror? See, I didn't give that a 10 because you never give something a 10, but the scariness. As a film, it was great. It might even be a 10 as a film. I don't know if I've ever seen a film that's so scary that it would get a 10 out of 10 for fear.
The only ones I've had were when I was a lot younger, and I think if I watched them now, they wouldn't have the same impact. Like I saw a film called The Boogeyman when I was maybe 14 or 15, and the opening sequence of that just messed me up so much, and I couldn't watch the entire film. Because it's about the boogeyman, and the whole opening sequence is this kid in bed, and then like he sees the cupboard door open, and then turns the light on, and there's nothing there. And he turns the light off, and then he sees like this figure coming towards him from the cupboard. And he turns the light on, and his dressing gown is just floating there, and then it just drops. And I'm 27, and I still sometimes like I need to shut the cupboard door and make sure that's shut. So it was just very well made and just really got to me. It was just very atmospheric. So I don't know what the rest of the film was like. It might have just gotten really stupid. I don't know if you see the monster at some point and it suddenly becomes ridiculous. But so yeah, that could be a 10 out of 10. I don't know.
Depends, because are you asking a film that is a horror that you would give a 10 out of 10 as a movie, or 10 out of 10 for scares? Because a horror film that I would give a 10 out of 10 is definitely The Sixth Sense.
Ooh, yes.
I've never seen that. I really need to watch that. Is that definitely a horror?
It's about
it's kind of multi-genre, really, isn't it?
It is multi-genre.
I know the ending, but I still need to watch it because I've never seen it.
It's a great film.
Around it anyway, just in
right.
case someone's watching and they don't know how it ends.
It is a great film in its own right, even if it didn't have. Well, now I'm trying not to say it. Yeah, even without the parts that you're aware of, it's a great film.
Okay. I'll have to give it a go.
We actually, at SITSI, a few of us got asked what our favourite films were by Get Into Film, this group who were interviewing a few people, and they interviewed Will McDaniel, and they interviewed loads of cool people like Luke Cutforth and Tom Scar, and for some reason ended up interviewing me as well as some sort of mistake. But yeah, I'll definitely, I mean, the links to those are on my channel in a playlist as well, so you can get some of your favourite vloggers' recommendations at the same time. And yeah, I listed Sixth Sense as one of my favourites when they asked. It's good.
Cool. I'll have to check it out.
I wonder if this month's prompt would work well with horror, because that was one of my first thoughts.
Do you want to use that as my segue to talk about next month?
Sure thing, and then we can come back to the other two videos.
Yeah, we can do things out of sequence. It's all casual. It's fine. So with this new prompt, I went to Ruckus Retreat weekend before last, which was an event organised by Rowan Ellis, and yeah, at that it was like a creative thing for people to work on their ideas, and I kind of used it as my creative time while there to work on stuff for this month's video. And I worked on an entire idea and like worked it out, and then completely scrapped it and went to something else. So I have lots of thoughts and various ideas, and something someone can steal if they want, because I'm not using it.
That might be handy for me, because I haven't had any ideas really yet for this one.
I should have grabbed my notebook. Where did I put that? Because I had like all these ideas I jotted down while at Ruckus. Oh, there it is. Aha, I have it. Fine. Cool. So yes, the prompt is they came at lunchtime, which I thought was weird and vague and kind of spooky. So
yeah, does kind of feel like you could do a horror with that.
Could go horror, could go mystery. I mean, it could also be really cheerful kids film animation, like The Tiger Who Came to Tea. I love that.
That's one of the things I've got written down here.
Man, when I was little, I wished we had a tiger who came to tea. I kind of still do, actually. It's a realization about myself. Jay, did you have any ideas for this month's prompt?
I think when I heard it, my initial thought was like sci-fi. I thought it would maybe work well with something arriving from the sky. But yeah, and like what they form, the form of they is it like one thing that has lots of things in it? Does that make sense? Or just like a million little things? So I was just trying to think of like what the character of those things that arrive are.
That's an interesting point. Yeah, different ways to interpret they. It could just be a non-binary person.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I'll go for that angle.
But I did think of a kid, like the one that they come to visit as a child. I don't know why, that just really kind of stuck in my head a lot. But I don't necessarily think that means it's a child's film or a kid's film. Just would have been interesting that it's the main character is a kid.
That would be tricky. Have any of you guys made videos with kids in before?
Yes.
Oh wow. How was that?
I did. I did some I used some kids in the feature film, but they were more kind of background. I did one film where one of the main characters was a young boy, and it was really good. He was great. Something I did learn was that you're not supposed to send the script ahead of time to kids because they learn it off by heart and their parents help them learn it. So then when you come to direct them, you can't control it. So if you're going to give them the script ahead of time, you need to rehearse with them. Whereas I didn't do that because once they've locked it into the way they're going to do it, it's really hard to break them out of it. So that was quite a useful learning curve that I went on. I mean, it didn't spoil anything, but I could see how you can't make it as flexible. Yeah, so it's a good thing that you wouldn't have thought of that, but you kind of learn it.
Yeah,
I read it. I read it the night before we were gonna film the next day. I read an article saying, "Don't send your script to the child actor," and I was like, "Oh, I've already done that."
It's a slightly boring question, but like paperwork wise and like regulations with working, having kids in a film, like how much more difficult is that than having adults who can like consent themselves and everything?
In terms of hours, I think it's 3 to 4 hours they can work with a break. There's like, you can find it online, there's the exact timings. So they can't work as long, which does make it difficult if you've got a lot to get through. So it's good to think about that. In terms of like people with them, I think if they have a parent with them, then that's fine. But otherwise you have to pay for a chaperone. So it's just things like that. But I think the main thing is just the amount of hours they can actually work does affect how long you can spend filming. So it's something to think about. But yeah, they're great. I mean, people say, oh, it's really hard to work with children. I haven't found that. I think they're actually really fun and they bring a lot of life to films. So
that's sweet.
Maybe that's something bad directors say.
Yeah, probably. Directors that don't have time for them.
I remember a couple of years ago, I did a video for the Project for Awesome, which is like a charity event on YouTube that's run by the Green Brothers, the Vlog Brothers. And I did 2 years, I've done videos for Into University, which is a charity that's based in various cities around the UK, and they help kids from less advantaged backgrounds to have extra like time to work on homework and things like that to help them get to university as an end goal. And I went to the centre that I'd previously volunteered at and filmed to get some footage. and so many of the kids didn't bring their permission forms,
Ugh.
and it was so difficult because they had to sit them all in a corner, like, you got this table, keep this out of all shots, and it was just, oh, and then they get up and walk around, and it's like, these are
Yeah.
teenagers as well, like they weren't even like little kids, and it was just like, can you just stay over there because I can't film you. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, I've done videos like that where they've had the permission and then the permission's been taken away, so then I've had to cut all the shots with that kid in
Oh.
it, and it's like some of the best shots, and you're like, no.
That's so frustrating.
Yeah, stuff like that is frustrating.
I can understand that being part of why directors might say to avoid working with kids or with animals if possible.
Yeah.
Just trying to think if I've worked with animals. I don't know if worked with animals counts, like making a vlog with my cat in it, but I think
I've worked with animals in that I filmed some animals at a zoo once. So, like, what other ideas for this prompt? There, I have a lot of pages of various different sessions where I did different kinds of brainstorming. So I have what I like to call super vague brainstorming, where I literally just write every word that comes to mind and try to link them together. So I've got really abstract thoughts in like a little spider diagram. So yeah, that led to various things of like everything from alien invasions to kids like dropping the food at lunch for the dog to come eat and stuff like that. So I was kind of, initially I was kind of, because I just come off doing the animated stuff, I was kind of tempted to do an animation and try it, make it slightly more fluid and do actual more animation to it. And then I decided that I really just don't have time for that. So I had to come up with an idea that was something I could realistically film instead. So, so my first idea was to have, are you familiar with Simon's Cat?
Yes.
Yeah, so it was kind of inspired by that.
Everybody knows.
Yeah, I assume most people are, but not, you never know. But yeah, inspired by that, of it being someone trying to eat their lunch, and they've got a dog, a cat, and possibly like a bird, all like one at a time. As he's dealing with one, the other comes in to try and steal it, and yeah. And I had a full scenario worked out, and I'd like designed like a nice little kitchen backdrop that I did a little watercolor painting of while I was at this creative retreat, and then I was like, no, I don't have time to actually make this. So,
sounds really nice though. I like that idea.
Maybe one day when I have time and more patience to animate, that will become a reality.
I did like the little mouse that came out of all of that though.
Thank you. My little rough shapes mouse.
It's very cute. Nice.
Should we now segue into discussing my one?
Yeah, I've got questions about that. What did you use to make it?
I drew it in Photoshop using a graphics tablet, and each one is in a different shot setup. So like looking at the sofa, looking at where the mouse hole is, were individual image files, and I just made a lot of different layers with different parts of the image on, and then I could toggle what was on, made images of that, and then just slotted those into my video editing software as appropriate. Yeah.
I loved your was it you doing the voice?
Yeah.
I love the mutterings. Great.
I had fun recording that. I just sat in front of my microphone just going rah, 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 rah.
Yeah, it was that. I love that. That needs to be a recurring character.
Is it featured in the day in the life of the smartphone? I just sped that up to make it more high pitched, but that was also me just going rah, rah, rah. So
I feel like you and Will McDaniel have a similar grumbling voice. I don't know. In some of his sketches it comes up. I'll have to find a link, but yeah, it's a good classic grumble.
Yeah, I'd love to ask Will if he's got time at some point that we should do some kind of thing together where he makes one of his monstrous puppets and I make one of my cutesy felt things and do something with that.
That would be awesome.
That would be great.
So, what else with that video? Trying to think of stuff. Oh yeah, trying to get sound effects and stuff. I had a plan for there to be throughout the whole thing like background noise of the TV being on, because I wanted to make it have a bit more of an ambient sort of sound to it. And I tried to create like a David Attenborough style documentary thing being on the TV. So I've also got some footage of me mumbling like, and was editing that with some rainforest sounds that I got from like the BBC's sound library that you can get some free sounds from. And I like tried to get this all together, but it just ended up sounding like this living room was in a jungle and someone was narrating the scene, and I couldn't make it sound like it was on TV. So I think if I knew a bit more about how to edit sound, I could probably run it through something to kind of muffle it and make it kind of sound a bit more staticky and things like that. But I have no idea how to edit sound other than layering some stuff on top of each other. So
maybe you
something
have to show the TV to like establish what that sound is,
and
then it would make sense.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you use what audio software do you use?
Oh, I was just doing this in my video editing software. I was just sticking audio files in and just sticking them on top of each other. I am not professional. So
is it Premiere Pro that you use?
I was actually using, because I have no money, so I'm kind of going to probably have to stop paying for the Creative Cloud package. Even on the student thing, I can't really afford it at the moment. So I've mostly been using my old software of Cyberlink Power Director, just to get used to it again. Which, as a relatively cheap software, I would recommend. Is actually not that bad. You can do quite a lot of stuff, and it's a one-off payment of £50. So I was just like, yeah, I can afford that at the time. So that's what I currently am trying to get back into remembering how to use.
I've never heard of that one.
So it's one that was at the time kind of recommended for like YouTubers if they wanted something better than Windows Movie Maker. So yeah, my main requirement when I got it was that I wanted to be able to have 2 bits of footage at the same time, because I was doing video game Let's Plays at that point. So I needed my face cam and the footage from the video, and I couldn't do that in Movie Maker, or at least I couldn't work out how to do that in Movie Maker. So yeah, that's why I got that, and it's fine. It's to be honest, it's more stable than Premiere. It crashes far less, but yeah, it's more it's kind of more designed for people editing home movies and things like that. So it's like I think it's more user friendly, and it's got a nice bit where you can burn DVDs with like menus with music and stuff like that if you want to do that sort of thing. So it's more like for personal home use really, but
yeah,
that's the job.
Does it have like transitions and things?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's got like a lot of very, very naff, but it has some like particle effects and things like that as well. I used one of those like when I did Vlogmas 2 years ago. Was that no? It must have been 2 years ago now. Yeah, and like my end card for that, I had like some snow, and that was just a stock thing it had available of just like a snow particle effect on top and things like that. So yeah, it's reasonable. Most of my videos have been edited on that. I only got Premiere about a year ago.
Can you key animate the volume?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's pretty good. I have like a few requirements of what editing software should do.
Yeah.
You can key so many things in Premiere. It's great.
Yeah.
Almost anything. I was asking about audio because I'm not that great at it myself, but I try to use Audition, and maybe that might help with the, I think, because I'm looking at the reverb effects, the presets, and there's one called Public Access Television that might help things sound like they're on TV. There are a few options on there. I don't know if that would be the best, but there are things like Distant Source and Back of the Class. Smoky Bar, Under the Bridge. I have no idea how accurate these sound, but I just wanted to flag that up. That's what I suddenly thought.
Oh, cool. Well, I still have access to the Creative Cloud. Might check that out.
That was under Effects, Reverb, Convolution, Reverb, but I'm sure there are plenty of things to play around with in there.
Cool. Thank you. Well, I will investigate that. Ooh, Henry's in the chat.
Oh.
I have no idea if he's still available because of internet problems, but if he's still there, Henry, hello. I don't know when that message appeared.
Can't believe we still have internet problems this day and age.
I think, I mean, this may be in a different house to usual, so I can understand there being some wibbles and wobbles. And yes, you've done very well with your project and your work so far, Henry. So looking forward to seeing what comes post dissertation.
Oh, we seem to have gained 1 subscriber.
Woo!
Just noticed it went from 50 to 51.
It's very variable. It was on 50, I think, this morning. I shared it a couple of times. It went up to 51, went down to 49, and now we're back up. So I don't know.
Sometimes it takes a while for it to add up, doesn't it? And then you realise that actually it's higher than it says.
Right. I'm going to have to sneak off for 2 minutes because I'm out of water and I'm going to start coughing like crazy. So, like, continue. I'll be right back.
Okay. So, what ideas do you have for what you've kind of planned if you do it?
I honestly hadn't even thought about it. I'd just been so zeroed in on getting this video done from several months ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hadn't really thought about it. I had vague thoughts of something horror related.
Yeah.
And that was about it. I didn't have any kind of strikes of inspiration like I have done with other prompts yet, but maybe that'll come.
Yeah.
Already I've had a few ideas, like interpretation of the they, which came straight from you earlier in this live stream.
That'd be cool to see, like a horror style. I'd be excited to see something like that.
Yeah. I think there's quite a lot of angles that this could go. So
yeah,
I've definitely gone for my second plan anyway, assuming I do that. Definitely gone for a sci-fi, but also slightly stupid and silly because I don't want anything to be too serious. I still feel like I'm making up for the first film that I made for this because I feel like that was just a bit heavy. So I'm like, everything's lighthearted and silly now.
I think it'll be really good. Good way for me to pick up a camera again, because since making the film I just don't want to touch a camera. It's a really weird, like, I think I'm just so tired from it, so I'm hoping that doing something like this will just get me out of that slump, because all I've been wanting to do is just write music, but I do need to pick up a camera again at some point.
When did you finish shooting?
On the 25th of August, and then I sat in my pajamas for a week. And I'm still tired. It was just so hectic. But yeah, I'm taking a little bit of time before I start the editing process because I think I need a bit of distance from it.
Yeah. So yeah, if anyone doesn't know, Jay's making a feature film.
Oh yeah.
So
keep forgetting to say that. Feature film musical.
Yeah.
So. Low budget. Let's clarify that.
I'm looking forward to seeing it though.
Well, it'll be a while, but yeah. Hopefully.
When it is ready for the world.
Yes. Yeah. So, but it'll be nice to do something that's not that, but is film. And maybe try something a bit different in genre and style as well. Because I think sometimes I get tied up in a film has to be live action, whereas it doesn't at all. So it'd be nice to just try something else. Because I started out in stop motion, like when I was first trying to make films and doing short films, I did stop motion and just loads of different things. So I need to get back into trying all those styles and genres. Do you think?
I think that's the good thing with this is that you can just try something you've never done before, and it doesn't matter. Yeah, maybe you'll find something that you love, but maybe it's I definitely don't want to do that again. So.
Yeah. Do you think you'll do animation, stop motion, or something completely different?
This one is going to be live action.
Okay.
But I would like to do more stop motion in the future because I haven't made anything out of felt in a little while.
I love felt.
I need more felt. I need to have a huge shelf of felt. That's the dream.
Everybody's
surprisingly expensive though.
Just get everybody here to just post you some felt.
Open a PO box. Just send me felt.
Hey, that would be a fun prompt. Bit impractical and difficult to do. But if somebody just sent you 3 items in a box and then you had to make a film out of it, maybe that could become the next step for the Film Prompt Society. Is a subscription box where you get some things that you have to make a film with.
Idea. I really like that idea.
we did talk about having the prompt at some point being collaboration and getting everyone to like buddy up and work on something together. So I guess it's just like a step further from that. Buddy up, send each other a box.
Yeah. Be really fun.
I wonder if we'll get in. I mean, you handed out a few business cards at SITSI for FPS.
I handed out so many cards.
I don't know.
I was throwing cards at people.
Yeah, hopefully a few more people will come in, and if not automatically, then I might go and nudge some people who I know make really cool stuff and who I know you gave cards to, and see if we can get some more people involved. And
yeah,
I wish we could have a setup where I think you need hardware and software for this, where we kind of chat and then actually stream the film, like stream the short films during the live stream, like in high quality. That would be awesome. But I think you have to pay quite a bit as well for something like that. I don't know if you looked it up at all.
I looked into before, because it was only quite recently that YouTube launched a lot of these like making live streaming easier things, and I was planning on live streaming a while ago, and I have capture software on my computer that I use for getting video game footage for my game reviews, and that has a YouTube like live streaming compatibility thing. So in theory, I could live stream using that rather than Google Hangouts. And then I could just drag and drop the video into the bit of my screen that is being broadcast and do it like that way. But I couldn't get it to work. It was just being, because you need to like input a code from your software into YouTube and then link something back, and like the communication just didn't go through for some reason. And I couldn't work out why. I followed all the instructions. I tried several times. It got to work.
I think I tried that software too, and it was quite difficult and clunky to use. I wasn't really.
So I think Twitch is probably more set up for that sort of thing, really.
Right.
I think if you want to do something complicated and stream it, you probably want to use Twitch.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's something to think about
maybe.
In the future.
Yeah, maybe we could expand and have a Twitch channel as well.
Yeah.
I'd be up for that.
I mean, we could start a Discord, I suppose, and have a bit more of like everyone chatting about ideas and stuff in a Discord and things like that. But I wanted this to not be too much input for any of us. And I think if we're running a Discord server, suddenly there's a lot more effort required in, actually doing this. But as it is, it's like we stream once a month, we send a few tweet messages to each other back and forth to plan what we're doing, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So,
Matty said, I know YouTube has released YouTube premieres, but not sure exactly how it works. I haven't heard of that.
It's only for channels of like a certain size at the moment. I don't know whether it'll improve. But currently it's that you upload a video, and rather than just setting, because you can schedule a time for your video to become live, but there's now also an option to set it to premiere. So at that time, it will kind of live stream it effectively. So anyone who's watching it at that time can live chat about it, and the creator can also be there live chatting with their audience and like experience it for the first time together.
Oh, right. That's interesting.
So I think it's a nice idea.
Yeah.
But I don't think they've rolled it out beyond like a sort of a small number of channels to see how it goes.
Yeah.
That might be interesting.
If you wanted to trial having a Discord before setting up a full Discord, I'm more than happy to host people in the Doing Things Discord. And yeah, I mean, there are already a few people who make films for FPS in there, so.
True.
Anyone watching who's into that is more than welcome to join until there's an official one. Can chat about things in there.
Yeah. How about if you're watching this live, like put it in the chat. But if you're watching this later on and you would be interested in there being a Discord server, which is, if you don't know what Discord is, I guess it's kind of like old school like chat room forums, and like you've got different pages where you talk about different things, and it's that kind of thing, really. So yeah, if you'd be interested in that, let us know, and then if there is some interest, maybe we could set that up. But I'm also conscious of like not taking up too much of anyone's time. Because like the whole idea of this was that it's like you don't have to do it every month, and the videos can be relatively low effort, and that it's not too much of a commitment for anybody. So I don't want it to suddenly become a lot of work for anyone.
Like I say, I'm already on Discord a fair amount, so if anybody wants to transition into a potential future FPS Discord, then come hang out in mine. You're more than welcome. I should probably add a link.
Yeah, I was just going to say, can you add a link before it?
Invite people.
And you can see my occasional message on there going, "Oh, I'm terrible at remembering to come on the Discord."
I've been a bit quieter in there since Sitsi, but I'm getting properly back into it now.
So you both went to Sitsi?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm jealous. I never get to
come
go. One day.
Come next year.
Yes, definitely do. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Mario is saying yes, please, to a dedicated FPS Discord.
Oh, cool.
Okay, we've got a vote. So. So, do you want to have a little chat about Jamie's video, since we've done the other two we were planning on talking about? So, if you haven't watched it, there's a link in the description of the stream. So go watch that now.
So, I have a question.
Yeah.
Overall, how long did it take you to paint that?
To paint it.
Well, because it's one continuous painting, right?
It is. I did it in several sittings, and I took some gaps, some breaks of a few days in between at some points. And I think you can probably see I'm wearing different sleeves with different clothes.
Well, I was going to ask the lighting.
I hadn't noticed that, actually. I'm going to go back and watch.
Either. Was it difficult with the lighting, or was it all right? If you can.
So now, as of my birthday, I have a nice setup with a couple of cheap bottom rung softbox.
Which is great. I love those soft boxes. They're cheap, but they're really good.
Yeah, they've helped so much. I've just had my regular bedroom light on, those two, and another daylight lamp pointing directly at it, and then bumped up the exposure in post. And any discrepancies, there were a few little moments of shadow, but mostly I managed to just reconcile that in Premiere afterwards. So yeah, lighting, thanks to this new setup, was just fine.
Yeah. And where did the idea come from?
I think the script idea came first, and I've probably said this before, but it's hard to tell where ideas come from because they just sort of pop in and then they're suddenly finished. And as soon as you have the script, I had the whole idea set out, the rough shape of the painting, the fact that was going to be chroma key at the end. So yeah. Yeah, I don't really know. I think probably just meditating on YouTube and creativity in general, and how I've been wanting to push myself, but there's often something holding me back. I think Jules, possibly it was Jules. Did you retweet Connie Glynn's video earlier today?
The death of the YouTuber.
Yeah.
It wasn't me who retweeted it, but I have watched it.
Okay. Yeah, I can't remember who that was then. But,
I think I've seen that.
It was quite a good one.
It's very good. It's a really good video essay. It's about 20 minutes long, and yeah, she kind of breaks down the whole YouTube culture of what works on YouTube and how the YouTube personality YouTuber is kind of in decline. And it's really good. It was well done. So.
And does she say what she thinks is taking its place, or is it just disappearing?
I
don't know if she suggested anything that might be taking its place. It was more.
I think it's more it's more content driven than personality driven. Is like the just general conclusion that it's now people to subscribe to a channel or go back to a channel because of the specifics that are in it, rather than because of the person. Because we're kind of over that.
Interesting.
Yeah, they'll be into it for the clickbait and the drama. Those are the things that get more views.
So not for the person, who the person is anymore.
Yeah, and you need more than just like insight into their daily life. Like that kind of just talking about your thoughts kind of videos don't do as well as they used to. People aren't interested in it anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't have the novelty. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think there is still a market for that. I don't mean like in terms of money. There are definitely still people.
Because I would watch people because of who they are. I'm actually turned off by the other stuff.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of people are, but for some reason it still gets millions of views.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then also we're not the like key demographic of YouTube of younger teenagers.
True.
So it's the kind of their habits that kind of dictate what works on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only saw that video essay today, so I hadn't thought about it at all before making this video, but there was some overlap in that I had been thinking about, you know, what is it that I'm afraid of on YouTube? What am I afraid of? What's stopping me from making things? And that sort of thing fed into, I think, a few of the points that she made in the video I felt really resonated with me with some of the points I was making in my video. For example, how something can take root from your channel and then grow beyond your initial audience, your initial scope, and people can take it in different contexts and just run wild with that. And that's something that you don't really have control over. And yeah, that is something that I find intimidating. I don't know if you guys also struggle with the thought that something could take on a new context and grow, possibly in a negative way.
I don't know if I guess I never think that anything's gonna grow from what I do. But I do notice that I'm kind of more when I have confidence in my art and myself, I'm far more productive with the videos that I do and making YouTube stuff. And then I go through stages, and I think I'm in one now where I'm terrified of putting anything out because I don't have the confidence in myself or what I'm doing. And I think too much about it. It's that whole thing of like what brand your channel is and da da da. And then I get caught in that little trap of, whereas when I started, I was just putting stuff out that I enjoyed. And sometimes it's hard to get back to that. I don't know if you guys struggle with that at all.
Yeah, I go through like maybe a 3-monthly cycle of, oh, this stuff isn't, you know, high quality enough, or it's not consistent enough with like the kind of content that I generally make, and then sort of not making anything, and then going, no, this is things for fun, just do what you want, doesn't matter, making some stuff, enjoying it, and then being like, oh, but this isn't consistent with what I should be doing, and yeah,
I hate that trap. But and I think it does link into what you're saying about like it growing out of proportion or growing in a way you don't want it to, that it's that nerves of like you want to put it out there, but then you're like, how are people going to take it? And it's kind of that on a smaller scale of, I guess it's that whole thing of are people going to like my art and me? Kind of goes back to that, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely partly that. I mean, some of my worries are probably rooted in paranoia about the sort of things that could happen, that do happen online. Somebody might take something out of context and then decide to destroy somebody's life for fun, or make some sort of like alt-right meme out of your face or something.
Yeah,
these things that could happen, but in practicality won't actually happen.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, if the end goal is success, then what is success exactly, and what comes with that? And obviously, that's pretty far away from someone like me who only uploads once every 3 months or so. But yeah, that's just one of those things that just niggles with you. And I'd like to think that I'd be able to still stay true to what I want to make, even if suddenly 1 million people came in and started saying, hey, we only like the animation you did, only do animation from now on, which is something that I've sort of been seeing happen a bit with Will's channel. It's like a split between people who just want the sketches and people who want a lot more behind the scenes stuff, and there's a lot of demand. Yeah, I don't know how I would handle something like that, even from a small audience. But
I'd love to chat to Will about that, like, because his channel went from, was it about 3,000 subscribers back in like April, and now he's past 100,000, hasn't he?
Wow.
Yeah,
I don't know what he's at now.
He's on the road to 150.
Wow.
He's definitely past 130, but I'll check.
Yeah. So that's a very sudden, huge explosion of, you know, attention. And I don't know, like, it's the sort of thing that part of you is like, oh, that'd be amazing. And then also you're like, oh, but actually, I don't know how well I'd handle that.
I don't feel like my content would be ready. Like if suddenly the stuff I'm doing took off, I'd be like, oh no, I'm stuck with that forever. Like that would be what would scare me, is that people are excited about one aspect of my creativity and I want to do other things. Does that worry you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
This is why my channel is very much lots of different things, because I don't want to be known for doing one specific thing, especially because the most popular stuff on my channel is stuff about being a PhD student, which obviously is a finite thing. And I don't want to be a channel that talks about being a PhD student and then my PhD ends and suddenly no one's watching anymore and my channel is basically just dead. So that's why I have such a range, because it's like I can jump between stuff. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't do well for like statistics for my channel at all. I know that, but it means that I'm not freaking out about being stuck, pigeonholed in something.
Yeah. I really struggle with that. Like, because right now I'm all tied out from film, and I'm more into music. But I'm like, well, I don't know if I should put music on my channel because it's the director's logbook. But yeah, so it's stuff like that is quite interesting. Maybe you just need to break away from that and do what you feel.
I would, for what it's worth, I would watch music on your channel. Definitely.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
I mean, I don't know how it is for most people, but I generally subscribe for the person.
I do as well.
Content.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of both. Like I've never been someone who subscribed just for a person, like, because that was definitely the era of, from that video essay, Connie's essay, the sort of the 2011 to 2015. It was people who you couldn't really say what they did. They just kind of talked to a camera, and that was their whole thing. And like that never really interests me particularly, unless they were very insightful about stuff. Because I guess you could probably put the Vlogbrothers under that. They don't have a consistent thing that they talk about in their videos, but they're always interesting. And they're about a range of different things. But a lot of them just kind of talked about what they were doing that day in their life and some thoughts they had, and that was about it. And yeah, people loved just because of their personality.
I find that I usually am drawn to a video with good content, and then I like the person, and then I'll watch anything else they do, regardless of what it is. So I'm not too bothered if they change their style, unless it's something really specific that I was drawn to, like if it's a educational video and then they never do another one. But yeah, it's an interesting one.
I definitely feel that way about other people, and I don't know if other people feel that way about me, but maybe I should just have some more faith in myself and get to experimenting.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Make some weird stuff.
Have we been going for almost an hour already?
We have.
Wow.
So I generally think keep these below an hour and a half is acceptable, because some people stream for hours and just like, I'm never watching that back. Whereas if it's sort of in the region of shorter feature film, then I'll have that on and listen to it like podcast style and things like that. But yeah, I wouldn't watch this back if it was 3 hours long. So
I don't know what we'd talk about for 3 hours.
I'm sure we'd find something. I mean, we talked for a good 20 minutes just about horror films that we like. So there's the thing of this just being, you know, about film, and kind of we can talk about the making side and we can talk about the watching side. And
we should do one day about what success is. I think that would be really interesting, because there's so many things that could mean.
I think I once did a hangout with my Discord with that as the topic. That was quite a while ago. I'm not sure if we recorded that one. I'll either watch it back or look back on my notes. But yeah,
it'd be interesting to see what people's thoughts are on that.
Yeah.
Sorry, just keep looking across. I still have the painting next to me on my desk, along with the little chroma key Polaroid that I use.
Do you have the painting there? Can we see it?
It's still taped to the board.
Oh, okay.
I can turn around the camera.
If it's a hassle, don't worry.
That's all right. Let's see. Okay.
We're going on a tour.
Room tour. Room tour. Is that visible?
So cool.
Oh, awesome. It's bigger than I thought.
Yeah.
It's just an A4 pad. Yeah, and that's it. not much more to say or to show. But yeah.
It's really
That's
cool
cool.
seeing behind stuff.
Yeah, you asked how long it took to paint. I think so. What I've been started doing is doing sort of behind the scenes on Pinterest, where I've been putting drafts up and dating those, so I can go and have a quick look, and I can tell you when exactly the first draft was, as opposed to the finished video, if that's something you're interested in.
Oh, that would definitely be interesting.
Yeah.
Because it took me a long time, probably, I don't know, longer than it would have taken most people. It was originally going to be for May's prompt after all, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm definitely of the opinion that it doesn't really matter when you get it done, as long as you get it done.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's true.
So,
Unless you have a deadline.
yeah, it definitely took me the span of over a few weeks. I would just keep pausing and then do, because it took a lot longer than I thought it would to set up and to film myself painting as well as painting it. Making sure all of the time that I had space on the SD card and that my camera was charged and it wasn't going to cut out. And it still managed to cut out a couple of times during painting. So there are some skips in the time lapse. But yeah, it took.
I've got a question actually. When it's sped up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So did you speed it up in the editing software, or did you do actual time lapse? No, not time lapse. I don't know the words for anything today.
Yeah, I filmed it all in real time and then just sped it up.
Yeah.
In Premiere.
How much did you speed it up by? Do you know?
Some parts were only about 500%. Some parts were as much as 5,000%.
Oh wow!
Yeah, there was at least
anything up that much.
It's surprising how much you have to do, because like when I did my banner art, I did a video of making that, and I had to like I sped it up as much as my software that I was using then allowed me to, because it had like a maximum, and I rendered that video and then I sped that up again to like I just doubled that again to just get it down to a reasonable length of time. So it's surprising how much you have to increase them by.
Yeah, wow.
It varied a bit because I had a strict script, which I don't know. I'll share the link.
So you had to kind of fit it to that script.
Yeah, and obviously it took different amounts of time to paint each part and to check back to make sure that I had the footage of everything. It was surprisingly complicated. But
no, I can believe that. I have done something in that style where I think it was I did narration and I drew and filled in as well, and it took a long time, but it was very relaxing as well. But I think I did my script to what I'd drawn, which was different. I haven't done it the other way around, so I can imagine that would be very time consuming. Quite precise.
I put a quick link in the description for later, not in the description, in the chat box, and that has all of the early drafts, like quick sketches.
Oh, cool. I haven't checked out your Pinterest before, so I have to look at that.
All sorts of aesthetic-y stuff, but I try to put on YouTube things, and I'll have to add some of you guys' videos if you're up for that, because I have an indie creators board.
Oh yeah.
That I share people.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
And one of the original annotated scripts is on that board as well. So that just has
200,000 monthly viewers. Wow.
I've been on Pinterest for quite a while. I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's a hobby of mine, making mood boards. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to try and remember my Pinterest login, because my account will be Jules Ender because everything is set up. But I haven't logged into that in a long time. Yeah, but just something that's coming back to bite me now that I'm like not known, but like now I have a bit of an online presence. I've got a lot of accounts that because Jules Ender is just a username that I started using, I don't know, when I was like 14 or something. So it's like, it's like a 13, 14-year-old username. So just all kinds of things I've made in that account, and like God knows what you could dig up in the archives of the internet.
Oh, I have a letter to Kate Winslet somewhere in the internet. I shouldn't say that on a live stream, should I? Don't look. I'll
Tell
tell
us
you,
more.
It's just. I think I can't remember how old I was, but it's just, I love you. I think you're the best actress in the world, done.
Oh,
So I hope no one can find that.
that's
It's on one of those
adorable.
they might have closed the website now. It was one of those super like first websites where you could have like a forum fan thing. So,
Oh.
Yeah, like I'm really glad Pixo doesn't exist anymore, which was a very simple like making your own website kind of thing. I think they kind of thought they were the answer to MySpace, but like it didn't really take off. But I had a Pixo page that was just like pixo.com/JulesEnder or whatever it was, and it was really bad. And it existed until a couple of years ago, and then Pixo all the servers went down. But yeah, like until relatively recently, that would probably have come up with a search of Jules Ender. So
awesome.
I'm sad that I don't have any evidence of it anymore. There.
Those were the days.
Yeah. Hey, someone else knows Pixo. Yeah, I never had MySpace, but I did have Pixo.
I don't think I've used Pixo. I had MySpace. So.
Were Pixo and Bebo at the same time?
Did anyone,
yeah, it was that sort of era. Yeah.
Did you have Xanga as well?
Have what? Sorry.
Xanga. I used to call it Xanga. That was like a
no. Never heard of that one.
Yeah, it's a weird one. If it still exists. yeah, it exists. Xanga 2.0 is here.
Ooh.
When is Vine 2? I'm still waiting for Vine 2.0.
Yeah.
They said it was coming.
Did they?
They did.
Oh well.
Yeah. I never got into Vine before it went, and now I'm often finding myself watching Vine compilations.
Mm-hmm.
I tried it and I just couldn't do it. I sucked at it.
Practice makes perfect when it comes back around. I don't know if it'll be as popular as before, but
we'll make it as popular.
Next gen will be the next gen of Vine. Does anybody watching have any questions or comments about this prompt or any of the films that we've talked about, or anything, just life in general?
Yeah, hit us up. Throw some thoughts.
Or any suggestions for how you could make that film, like using the prompt. You've got some ideas. It'd be good to hear them.
It would be great to see a few more people making something short if you have a chance over the next few months. It doesn't have to be for this prompt. It can be for an old one like I just did. Yeah. And yeah, we can add those to the playlist. And if you're interested in coming onto the live stream and chatting, then that's something we can do as well.
True. Yeah, if anyone wants to actually join in, we can send you the Google Hangout link. And if you have a webcam and a microphone, you could magically be in the conversation. Isn't technology beautiful?
Except for that one time. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, I just thought, I promise this isn't me trying to plug my blog, but
plug it away.
I have a blog post called 25 Film Ideas where I just wrote like a bunch of prompts, but I was wondering should I leave it there so people can maybe use it to
go for it.
This as well, because it might just help spark some other ideas. It's like just a mix of everything. I need to do another one. I'm going to try and do one that's 100, but I haven't been able to get myself into that zone yet. It took me long enough to write that one. But that just might help with some inspiration.
I'm trying to think if any of the other stuff that I jotted down might be of use. Because after I decided I wasn't going to have time to do the animation, I thought while I was at Ruckus Retreat, it would be an amazing opportunity to film something, because it was held in this like stately home in the middle of the countryside in the Brecon Beacons, and it was just like, it was gorgeous. It was Buckland Hall. If you like Google it, you can just see like it's just such a really nice space. And I was just like, I need to film something while I'm here, and I was trying to come up with an idea to shoot something, but I couldn't come up with anything that I could do without my whole time there being really stressful trying to get things done.
It's frustrating when that happens.
So I've got like a page where I've just jotted down, I'm trying to come up with an idea to use the venue. I'm just throwing words around about like the place. And idea I flirted with for a little bit because of like the grounds and everything of it being a teenager being called to go to have food with the family and then just like not wanting to be there and then like running away through the wardrobe Narnia style into this place and like exploring.
I love that.
There. And I kind of wish I had just like shot some of that, you know, got someone to hold the camera for me and just done some bits of just like, ooh, as I explore the gardens. But yeah, I don't think I could have come up with anything concrete enough in the time I was there.
Yeah, but that's a really cool idea. I like that fantasy side.
So yeah, there's a little idea for someone, sort of Alice in Wonderland, Narnia-esque. So do with that as you will.
Yeah, totally. I love that.
Matty is saying that he always read this prompt as a comedy, someone trying to have lunch, but people keep appearing, but he wouldn't know how to film it or script it. I'm sure that any or all of us could help out with that if you want any pointers. Yeah, feel free to hit us up or me up. I can't speak for everyone else, but hit me up on Twitter.
Yeah, same. I'd be happy to help as much as I can.
Join in. For now, my Discord, maybe later the FPS Discord. We can, talk about it and make it happen. I would love to see another short film from you. I don't know if I've seen a film or just vlogs from you before. But yeah, that would be great.
It's interesting, Matty says about scripting it, because if you haven't scripted anything before, like what would help you? I mean, I'm just curious about how, is it kind of the formatting of it? Is it the actual getting down on paper? Is it because it's mainly action and no dialogue? Is it like what aspect of the scripting? It'd be good to know what is needed.
It's definitely something I struggle with because I never learned how to write a script and how to format it. Like I have attempted to by like reading up how you do it and trying to follow that format. But like when I script stuff, I generally just kind of write notes to myself, really. It's not really like a proper script.
Yeah.
So it's normally just a Google Doc where I've just like written out, and then this will happen, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So
he's saying I say scripting, but it's more of what ideas would be put into it. Also, it's like formulating.
Yeah.
What happens in it. Yeah. It's kind of probably a brainstorming thing, I think. Oh, there you go. My scripts tend to be more ideas and prompts. That's what I say. So yeah.
So more sort of freeform, improvised style.
Yeah. I don't like scripts because, I mean, scripts are designed to be there for the rest of the team you're working with. It's for everybody else. So then they're not really the best thing in a way because it's quite hard to communicate visual things in a written form, I think. Although a lot of people would argue it makes your story stronger, I think it's against what film actually is. That doesn't help anybody, but it's my opinion.
So maybe storyboarding it visually is more useful for, especially if something is more action based.
Yeah.
And if you've got if you know the sequence of events and you can see that.
Yeah. And it's really interesting, I think, like, you know, script was something that was when it was very expensive to make film, like any bit of filming you did had to be right because you couldn't just waste footage and stuff. Whereas now you can actually film everything. You can do like you don't even have to storyboard. You can film everything you need to on a phone or just something that's quick to show people what you want. So it's funny that we still use all of these things when actually if you just did it cheaply, you can just show someone and then do it properly. So I think we haven't actually got out of the kind of old school way of making films.
That might be a really interesting challenge to add for one of the prompts. If you're not allowed to write it down, like you need to make, notes with your phone, like audio logs or video clips of like what you're visualizing and kind of, as a process, trying something a bit different.
Yeah. Okay. That would be really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like you said, there's no reason for it to be in that format other than tradition.
Yeah.
So and just it's what is expected. So I like it.
Just quickly mention to Ruckus Retreat since we mentioned it and talked about it a bit, but just in case anybody didn't know what it was creative retreat that Jules went to. Yeah.
Yeah, it was genuinely, it's exactly what I needed, because it was just 4 days where we had loads of workshops and creative time, and it was just about 60, 70 people who were all just creatives in poetry, artists, filmmakers, and it was just really, really good, just the atmosphere. And I'll find the link. Like, I don't want to be like asking for money off people, but they had their main sponsor withdraw 2 weeks beforehand, and then the organisers, Rowan and Krish, had to put $5,000 forward themselves, and they paid that out of pocket. So there's a GoFundMe. I gave tenner to it because I am poor, but it's like I really enjoyed it and I needed to give something to help them out a little bit. But I think it's about 3,000-ish now, so it's like they've definitely taken a big hit off it. So I'll see if I can find the link, and just if on the off chance anyone wants to give a $5, it was. And also what that was funding was 20% of the places were given to people from minority groups, so that they would be able to attend when they wouldn't normally. So it was quite a lot of people who were coming that way, and that's what that money was funding. So you're not paying for me having been. It was paying for some like teenagers from LGBT and Black and ethnic minority groups and things to be able to actually go to this. So yeah, before you think I'm just being like, pay for my holiday, please.
It sounds like it was fantastic being with. Like, I can't imagine being that many people who are creative, like full on creative. Because I've been to things where people are producers and stuff like that, but not like artists, poets, and all of that. Not that many people. Sounds fantastic.
Yeah. So it was so good, and they were originally talking about doing it again next year, but if they don't get the money back for this, like, this is not going to happen again.
That must have been a huge shock.
Yeah.
To just.
I can't imagine the stress.
Even to read about it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It was £5,000, and it was
a
couple of weeks before the event was due to run. I'm amazed they still managed to run it. So
yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
I've popped a link to one of the organisers, Rowan's Twitter.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through Twitter trying to find a link to the GoFundMe. She tweets far too much.
Yeah, the one I've linked, the tweet right below that has the fundraiser in it. So.
Okay, there we go. Oh, I have just found it now. There we go. There's the GoFundMe. Now I've got to find the chat again. I've got too many windows open. Okay. There we go. Actually, it was really easy. It's just GoFundMe/Ruckus Retreat. There you go.
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah, but definitely, like, I don't want to be like forcing anyone to give money or making guilt tripping anyone or anything. But it's just like, if you do happen to, be able to spare a $5, like, it's there. That's all. So I'll be making a video about that as well, because I did record quite a bit of sort of B-roll, and I did a sort of vlog while I sat outside with the nice view and everything. So I've been meaning to edit that, but I've been so ill since I got back from my holiday. So so I have not had the chance to edit it, but I'm just at the very end of this cold now, so I can actually do things.
I hope you had a nice holiday.
Yeah, it was good. It was very good, because yeah, straight after Ruckus Retreat, we got back the Sunday afternoon, and then the Monday morning I went away to Pembrokeshire with my boyfriend, my sister, her husband, and their 8-month-old, my nephew. So didn't necessarily get a lot of sleep, but it was a good holiday. So yeah, and he had a cold, my nephew, and he baby sneeze all over you. So
Mattie's asking if you stayed at the retreat.
Yeah, so they had 2 kinds of tickets, residential and ones where you could just come to the events and stuff, but then you didn't have food and board included. And I considered that briefly because it was quite a bit cheaper, but because I don't drive and it is just in the middle of nowhere in the Brecon Beacons, it would have been really awkward. I know some people did, like Greg and Emma, who are some people I think Jamie knows as well. They camped nearby, and somebody else who was also staying somewhere else picked them up and drove them back and forth and everything. So yeah, but I stayed there. So yeah, it was really nice. Oh, such good food, so much food. So yes, Jamie's put in the chat their names, but I'm really bad at this. It's like I mention people, I forget like people that I'm talking about.
It's difficult to. I mean, you were the one talking about them. I was just typing while you were doing
Yeah, you're always so on top of it though. Whenever you're in these streams, it's just like the chat is full with relevant information. There's links. Like,
it's because
I forget to even tweet that we're live. So
I've seen so many live streams in the past where there's not much interaction with the comments, and it's just less fun.
Yeah,
it's just a video.
Then, have it to go back to as well when people watch it back. It's nice to have all that stuff.
So, but if they do run Ruckus Retreat again next year and you are able to afford it, I would massively recommend going. Like the community from it, we've got a private Facebook group now, and yeah, like there's just constantly people are just like getting advice, and like there's poets who are trying to get some help, and like they're promoting some book and they want to be at their poetry and like doing some performances of it, and there's people discussing all sorts of things in there. Through that, I now have Hannah Witten on LinkedIn, so
nice.
she was there. My claim to fame.
It doesn't have a Twitter, does it? It just has a hashtag.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Yeah, it was just the event. It does have a website, which I think is the Ruckus Collective, and then there's Ruckus Retreat is like the event that the Ruckus Collective was running. So yeah, I'm not sure what the link is for that though.
Yeah,
but you can probably find it through Rowan Ellis, her. Twitter, which Jamie's stuck in there. Like it'll be there somewhere because she. But it's come out of it. It's great. There's already a Ruckus reunion planned in London next month, which I cannot afford to travel to. Which I feel bad about because someone's like flying over from Prague for this like get together. And I'm just like really close, but travel's so expensive within the UK. So
yeah, it is.
Yeah. So yeah, if you could go to it. Would recommend. It's good stuff.
If I'd had the money this year, I definitely would have gone. I'll save up in the hope that it'll run again next year. Yay! Thank you, Matty.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Matty. Genuinely, thank you. Like,
yeah,
there were so many people there who would not have been able to go otherwise. Like, I know they've benefited so much. Like, yeah, an opportunity they probably wouldn't have gotten otherwise. So, yeah, it's good. I think there needs to be more stuff like that where it's everyone's on a level field, because like things like in the YouTube world anyway, Summer in the City, VidCon, stuff like that, there's a very us and them sort of. There's the people on the panels, there's people watching the panels, and whereas there were people who were leading workshops, but they also attended workshops as well. Yeah. So
I prefer things like that. I prefer events where it's a bit more everybody together.
Yeah. It was nice meeting a lot of people who like I'd seen on YouTube but hadn't like interacted with, because either they're in like different social circles or they don't go to the same events that I've been going to, and yeah, lots of networking and all that. Which is a word I really hate because it's just the adult version of making friends. It's like
so true.
Sammy Paul was there. Yes, he was. He taught a workshop on screenwriting, which he missed half of because his train was problems. So he only ran the first half, which was really good. I really enjoyed that. It was quite useful. But he sort of ran the taught half and didn't have time to do where we went away and wrote some stuff and then read it out and everything. But he was running the workshop twice in the day, and I could have gone to the second one and like done the second half, like come along a bit later in it. But I was so tired by that point, like the mental drain. Like it was tired in a good way, but I was just like, I can't go write
it's the talking to people as well and all of that. It really tires you out in a different way to anything else.
Yeah, creatively tired, like conversationally tired. Like, yeah, I think some people do thrive on that, but I'm naturally an introvert.
Yeah,
like, I can hold a conversation and be outgoing, but like I'm happier by myself, snuggled up in bed with like my laptop watching Netflix. So.
No, it physically drains me if I like talk too much to too many people, then I just have to go lie down.
Yeah, but there's a lot of cool things that are coming out of Ruckus. I don't have the links, which is bad, but while I'm talking, I will see if I can find the person and give you their Twitter anyway. But there's a podcast that's going to exist that they recorded several episodes of, which I can't remember exactly what they called it, but it's something like a happy ending or happy ever after or something. And it's people telling LGBT romance stories with happy endings of their experiences. So, and there was like, I don't want to spoil it, but there's this one, Alex Jurassic. She runs the Raspberry Pi Twitter social media stuff. Raspberry Pi is like a computer, little computers sort of company / charity in the UK. I think they're in America as well. But anyway, sorry, off topic. But she had the most amazing story, which I do not want to spoil at all because I know they recorded it for this podcast. But so I will link the person. Their name is A. And this is their Twitter. Haha, found it. Unless I've actually just written this in my head as the wrong person. I'm pretty sure this is the right person. Met a lot of people, and I'm not very good at distinguishing. But
Have you shared that? There it is.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, that podcast, like, I'm very excited for that going up. I don't know where they're going to upload it, but I'm very much looking forward to that. And there was a lot of other bits and bobs that are definitely going to come out of Ruckus. Like, a lot of us learned an awful lot from Alex Jurassic about the inner workings of YouTube and social media and how to like make things work for you, because she has so much knowledge. So and yeah, she started a Twitter account about doing social media stuff better. There's more stuff, haha.
Oh,
so I will.
I think I followed that. I saw quite a few people had followed it.
Yeah, because she started that, and I was like, yes, because she has knowledge. I'm going to use this information, but I will link that as well, because she and YouTube.
If that was How Does Social?
How Does Social? Yeah, that's the one.
And Linky Link.
Have you got the link? I'm still trying to find it.
It was one of the ones I recently followed, so it was right up. So I've got that there.
Oh, cool.
Cool, yeah. How Does Social? So yeah, so from that I learned, always quote tweet, don't just retweet. Then you get the engagement, not them. So things like that.
It's good to know. I mean, I'm still happy for my friends to get the engagement.
It depends on the context.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if you're sharing a friend's thing, but if you know it's something else, then you want to get some points, then you know. But so we haven't talked about film stuff in quite a while now, have we? We're very sidetracked by Ruckus Retreat.
It all links in.
It does.
Yeah, it's creative stuff.
And there were lots of filmmakers there at the retreat, and some doing workshops, like Sammy Thor and his screenwriting.
Yep.
So it does all link in.
Yeah, it's true. I think that the most people there were writers in some capacity, either prose or poetry. So, in which I was just like, I don't understand how to make words good. So, I'm definitely more visual. So that's something I've noticed with my film prompt videos I've been doing. Like, I've steered away from dialogue. So, like, everything I just seem to just be doing visually. So, this one that I'm planning, it's not dialogue or anything, it's narration. So I don't know whether it counts.
Okay, we'll have to give you a challenge of doing some dialogue.
Yeah. Oh, it's hard though, because it's always going to be just me. So it's like,
maybe
difficult
we
to
should find some people.
Oh, but that's hard.
You know, I'm up for it.
There are loads of actors out there who would love to do it, to try for free.
I feel bad asking for people to do something and not pay them.
Well, it depends what level they're at and what they need as well. So, like, if it's actors who are starting out and need footage, they're often more than happy to do it because you're doing it for free as well. So it's just finding the right level and bit of give and take. Everybody has to do it for free at some point. So. And obviously you won't be asking them to work 12-hour days, so you're right.
True.
Unless maybe you will. Be a really long dialogue piece.
So, I mean, like, when I had some friends help me out with making monstrous decorations, which is a silly video that I've done the last 2 Christmases of the Christmas decorations fighting back.
Go watch it, everybody.
So, it's on my channel. But yeah, the most recent one that we did last year, it was my boyfriend and two of my friends who helped me out by. None of them are on the screen at any point, but they're mostly throwing things or shaking stuff and things like that. And that ended up, like, the video is really short, but it took an entire day to do.
Yeah.
It surprises me how long something can take, especially I'm sure I could have streamlined it so much if I knew what I was doing, but there was a lot. And also I had to do reshoots for that because I messed something up.
Reshoots. Go back to the actors thing. Have either of you used Mandy.com to find actors?
Nope, I've not heard of this.
I'm putting this in the links. Okay. So if you're upfront about, I hope this is the right link I'm putting in.
Just send this somewhere bizarre into the depths of the internet.
Oh, why didn't that? Oh, I didn't put the HTTP. Oh, I'm rubbish at this. So will this work? Nope. Do I have to put? Does that work? Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Let's see if that's taking you to the right place. Yes, I think you have to create an account. I think it's free. Should be free. Basically, you can find actors there, but you can post a job or a role, and you can state whether it's unpaid or not. And you'd be quite surprised that people apply for the non-paid roles, especially if it's a thing that interests them. So it's a good way to test it if you did want to try using actors.
Interesting.
The first time I used an actor, it was terrifying, but then once you get over that, it's really fun. Just thought I'd put that out there.
And maybe that's something I should try and get out of my comfort zone and do it.
You'll find the actors that are local to you. You can set the location, the age, what kind of level they are, and all that type of thing. So pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
All right.
Although I will say that your videos are still effective without dialogue. Really liked the unusual pet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Especially every time a mouse trap went off, I winced. I really did.
I kept thinking you were just going to cut
the mouse trap sound was actually my boyfriend clapping because he's really good at doing a really loud clap.
It really worked.
So,
I would never have known that.
Yeah. The random sound effects I now have on my computer. Most sound effects that I've used have been ones I've made myself. There's one point where whenever I had anything appear on the screen, I had a little popping noise, and that was I did a couple of variations of just going and just, and just picked one that sounded nice and used that. And yeah, I think I did a stop motion for Anosmia Awareness Day about 18 months ago. I had a lot of sweets moving and forming a word and stuff like that. So I made the sound of that by just drumming my fingers on the table and then layering that a few times to make it sound like lots of objects rustling around on the table. So yeah, I enjoy the Foley artistry stuff. So
it would be a good idea actually to use the sort of sounds for that sort of things appearing. I normally use a site that I'm just linking. Oh no, I'm the one who's terrible at it. That's the wrong thing. It's BFXR, and it's sort of retro video game style sound generator that you can use for games, or I use it for video sound effects. And that is now.
So many new resources.
I like that a lot. But yeah, that's one I used for the most recent video.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I should look for more sound effects that already exist. I'm just a big fan of working out, how can I make this noise?
I think that's really cool to make your own.
I mean, this one with VFXR, it's a combination of the two because you can put in settings and adjust the sound that comes out. So yeah, that's my little sapling unsubscribed sound from this video.
Oh, cool. Right, well, we have now passed the hour and a half point, so I think we should probably draw this to a close.
Yeah.
So, but I'm glad we kept this going a little bit because we've, brushed on lots of different things. So that's been good. Cool. So yes, thanks to the couple of people who hung around through our rambles.
Thank you for hanging out.
Yeah.
And thanks for joining. And I hope it's been interesting and hopefully a bit useful. It's only been useful for me anyway. Lots of websites to go explore.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah. So if you haven't made a film yet and are thinking of it, the deadline is a fairly flexible end of the month. It's basically before we do the next live stream, so you can get on the playlist. But I mean, it's, you know, you've got a couple of weeks, so yeah. There's no point putting down a hard deadline anymore. It's just like, you know, just whenever you want to do it. Yeah. So yes, yes, we will see you again at the next live stream next month, or whatever magical thing we come up with for November or October. What month is it? I don't know.
We'll have to do something super spooky.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
October.
Right, so thank you very much for joining us. Any last comments or thoughts before I click the stop broadcast big red button?
Be brave.
Yes, that's much better. I was just going to say it was nice to see you guys. And, yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out.
Yeah. Bye then.
Bye.